Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today's recipe, we're making mushroom hamburgers. Now, if you love mushrooms, you're gonna love this recipe. And if you don't like mushrooms, or you're not crazy about them like I am, or I'm not, you're gonna love this recipe anyway, because we're gonna be adding our mushrooms in such a way that you're hardly gonna notice them at all in terms of their texture. That's usually why people don't care for them, right? I don't like their texture, but we're gonna add them in a certain way, and it's gonna make our hamburger nice and juicy and flavorful. So I'm Rockin' Robin, and I'm gonna show you how to do it right after this. Before we go over the ingredients, let me just start out by saying you can get the written recipe for this, because I get asked all the time. The written recipe will be down below below this video, right down there. Click where it says show more, and you click that, scroll down, and you'll find that written recipe. All right, let's go over the ingredients. First off, we have our ground beef. Now I'm using 100% grass-fed ground beef. Now, if it doesn't say 100% grass-fed, guys, you're probably getting some grain in there as well. So always look for 100% if that's important to you. We'll need a yellow onion. I've got some mushrooms here. These are cremini mushrooms. And we'll need some barbecue sauce. Now, with barbecue sauce, I don't know if you know this, but barbecue sauce is loaded with sugar. So for those of you that are watching your sugar, make sure you read the ingredients. It's not uncommon to find 14 grams per 2 tablespoons, an average serving of barbecue sauce. The one I'm using today only has 7. We'll need some sriracha sauce, garlic powder, and some salt. Now you can garnish up your burger any way you want. What I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna be adding some avocado, because I love it, some homegrown tomatoes, they are the best, right? And a little bit of cheese. I'm gonna start with the mushrooms here today, and you take a paper towel and you just brush off the dirt. And then I'm gonna trim off a little bit on the stem. And you can cut them in half if you want. They're going into a food processor. All right, now that we have all the mushrooms cleaned, we're gonna just place them right into our food processor. Now we're gonna pulse this until it's like the texture of hamburger. So you see how fine this is? That's what you want. It's gonna mix right into that hamburger and you're not even gonna know it's there, really. I'm gonna set the mushrooms aside and work on the onion. Now with the onion, I want this to be a super fine dice. So I'll just show you real quick here on how I'm gonna dice this up. Now that I have my onions and mushrooms cut up already nice and small, we're ready to cook them on the stove. I'm gonna saute them in my ceramic pan here, a brand new one I just got from Costco, and I'm gonna try it out. So I'm gonna put probably a good tablespoon or 2 of oil in the bottom of the pan here, let that heat up for a second, and then we're gonna add our onions and mushrooms, and we're gonna cook them for about minimum 10 minutes, and 15 is probably a little better, but somewhere in there. Here goes the mushrooms. So our mixture's been cooking here for about 12 minutes. We're gonna go like 3 more minutes and go 15 total. Just want to mention that when it's done, we're going to let this cool completely before we can add it to our hamburger, because we don't want to add a hot mixture to a cold mixture, you know, for bacteria reasons. So make sure you chill this, or at least cool it to room temperature. You can cool it and then toss it in the fridge if you want to really speed it up. That's probably what I'll do. Now that our onion and mushroom mixture is chilled, I'm going to add everything together and mix up our meat. Now, I'm going to start by adding probably about half of my mixture. I don't want to use the whole amount because I think it's just a little bit too much. So, and you can use as much as you want. Then I'm going to add a little bit of sriracha sauce. And that, of course, is up to you how much you want to add. I like to experience just a little bit of heat right at the end when you're taking a bite. Now, with the barbecue sauce, I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons. We'll add a sprinkle of garlic powder and a pinch of salt, and I'm going to mix this up. Now I'm mixing this up first so that I get everything combined evenly into the onion and mushroom mixture. Then I'm going to add the meat to this, and what you don't want to do is overwork it, so that's why I'm doing it this way. All right, now we're ready to add the ground beef. So I'm just going to break the ground beef into little balls like this and just toss it in. It's going to help me to mix it around a little easier without overworking it. Now I recommend using your hands to mix this up. Make sure they're clean, of course, because you're going to be able to mix it a little better, I think, with your hands than a spoon. Okay, so I think we're getting there pretty good. I don't want to mix this too much more. All right, time to form our patties. Here we go. I like to put a little divot in the middle. That'll help it to cook more flat as it expands so that you can actually put stuff on top of your burger. You know how sometimes they're really round and it's difficult. Toppings fall off. All right, so I'm going to hit our hamburgers one more time with a little more salt on top because, you know, it's got to have that flavor, and a little bit more of the garlic powder. And now I'm going to place this on the grill. You want to have a preheated grill. We want to sear these burgers. It's been about 3 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and flip these over. Now I happen to have a couple lids here. I'm going to place a lid on here, and that's going to help keep the heat in there like a little oven and cook it. Now you want your hamburgers to reach 160 degrees Fahrenheit. According to the USDA, 155 degrees Fahrenheit kills E. coli bacteria, so they recommend cooking hamburgers to 160. I think it's time here for our cheese. So I'm going to place the cheese on here, and this is only going to take about a minute to melt because we're going to put the lid back on, and it makes that cheese melt up pretty darn quick. Let's see, the cheese is melted. You don't want it to get too hot because then it kind of runs down. Now I've got a clean plate here. Make sure you use a clean plate. You don't want to put your nice freshly cooked burger on a plate that had raw meat on it. They do need to rest for just a few minutes, so we'll set ourselves up and get our condiments ready. Now if you want to, you can heat up your buns by placing them on the grill here. It's a little bit dirty, but from cooking the burgers, but that's okay. I'm putting a little bit of butter on this bun, and then I'm just going to place it on the cleaner parts of the grill. All right guys, our burgers are done. I'm going to plate one up here for you. Add a little homegrown tomatoes. Homemade, yeah, they're like homemade. They're way better than store-bought, I'll tell you that. All right, so I've got some avocado slices. I gotta take a taste of this. I'm starving and it looks fantastic. Holy cow, what a burger, huh? That thing, I can't even take a bite out of that, it's so big. All right guys, let's do this. Let's see if we can make a mess. That is one juicy burger. The mushrooms really add to the flavor. The caramelized onions, it's incredibly good, guys. I really enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know what you think about it. Maybe you have your own version of some mushroom burgers, you know, let me know. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Give this a try. The flavors are great. It's juicy, it's moist, it's flavorful. I think you're gonna like it. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.